So, what has your local news been showing you? Because just a couple days ago, a man was arrested for attempted murder on a Supreme Court justice, and it just pretty much got a flyby from the media. How is that even possible? You know what? That makes me think of something.
Excuse me. All right, move on. Nothing to see here. Please disperse. Nothing to see here, please.
All right, so I'm surfing through my social media feeds, checking out what's been going on with the channel, what's been going on with the pages, trying to respond to some comments, things of that nature, and I come across someone saying that there was an attempt, or someone was arrested for attempted murder, and the person they were attempting to murder was Justice Kavanaugh. Now I said that can't be. How would this not be news? How would this not be all over the place? So I began to look for it. Sure enough, it's out there, right? Reuters and all they put it out there. But like they put it out there on like, the backward part of their website kind of thing. Like if you search for it, you'll find it. But how the hell would you know to even search for it? So it's one of those things that just blew me away because this is like a part of quite a bit that's been going on with Supreme Court justices. Now, let's remember, first of all, we have the unprecedented leak of a Supreme Court opinion first draft, right, which I don't recall has ever happened. And sure enough, it happens now. Then on top of that, another ridiculous concept is that all of the Supreme Court justices get doxxed and their personal home addresses put out there. All right. We have a couple of generations in our society today that have absolutely lost their minds. And now they're showing up at other people. So the day after Kavanaugh, all right, the day after, all right, they surround Amy Barrett's house and start to go after her. All right, and this was not an attempted murder charge, but nonetheless, like this woman can't go. She can't make a decision on the bench without being threatened. And this is all tied together, folks. This is all tied together, all right? This is why the draft was leaked before the decision, all right? And God help me, the fact that they haven't come up with the person who leaked that yet, when there's only about 10 people, maybe 15, that could have possibly done it, is beyond me. But this looks like it's getting thrown right in with the Ghislaine Maxwell defendant, or the Ghislaine Maxwell customer list, right? This is going right in there with that. It just magically disappears. Nobody freaking knows where it is. All right. But anyway, wherever that investigation is right now, either we have the most inept FBI and legal departments, or there's an intentional ignorance going on here. So that gets leaked. Then the doxing happens. Then they start coming to their houses. Now an attempted murder plot. Let's not forget, Scalia died of natural causes, and he was a healthy guy as well. All right, and he just ends up dead. Clarence Thomas ends up in the hospital. Some conspiracy theorists saying that they have white hats that said he was poisoned. I don't know if that's true, but I do know the guy ends up in the hospital. And in light of everything else, it definitely now is starting to seem suspect. Like, what's the deal with going after Supreme Court justices? Like this is just crazy. And again, Clarence Thomas, I don't know if his story was legit or not. I know the fact check website said it wasn't, but let's face it, Lead Stories is not exactly a source that anyone's going to take. And when Lead Stories comes out with something, I generally tend to believe the opposite. So I score 1 for the conspiracy theorists in that one, since Lead Stories fact check website is funded by ByteDance, which is the CCP. It is the CCP. They're the owners of TikTok. It's the CCP. All right. So that being said, all right, the FBI comes in. Let's get the story straight. So this guy shows up. All right. Now they caught him, like, literally, they're saying steps away from Kavanaugh's house. Now the kid, it wasn't even a guy, it was a kid. All right. Has pretty much had a breakdown right before he did it. Called one of the Montgomery County emergency services. It started to basically spill the beans on what he was trying to do and what he was gonna do, and then ends up getting caught right in front of. So there was a cry for help there for sure. And I'm not showing the kid's image right now, nor am I giving his name. You can get that online. The only reason I'm not doing it is because it drives me insane when the media promotes this stuff and gives a theater and a stage to these would-be killers or killers. All right, I don't believe in doing that, so he gets no mention by name here. All right. And he has some photos out there. Unfortunately, one of them is with his parents, who are now all over the internet as being tied to someone who wants to kill Kavanaugh. But there's a bigger issue going on here. But I want to get into a little bit about the details of what happened. So they catch him right outside, maybe steps away from Kavanaugh's house. Black. He's wearing all black. He's got a backpack. Inside the backpack, I have a list here. Inside the backpack, they seized a black tactical chest rig and tactical knife, a Glock 17 pistol with 2 magazines and ammunition, pepper spray, zip ties, a hammer, screwdriver, nail punch, crowbar, and all of that obviously to break in, the hammer, the nail, the screwdriver, etc. Then he had a pistol, light, duct tape, hiking boots with padding on the outside. Maybe some tactical person can inform me why you would need hiking boots with padding on the outside of the soles, and then other items. So the kid was obviously strapped and ready to go. Had thought this through, had planned it out. Got where all these kids are getting tactical gear, I have no idea. But this kid clearly is getting the tactical gear. But and now the school shooter had like $4,000 worth of equipment. So like there's a lot going on with these young kids losing their minds, and I want to give a quick opine on why. All right, because I think none of us are particularly shocked with the fact that the media just blew over this story, because it shows the left going insane and it exposes what I'm about to talk about. And this goes for the school shooters, for that little doo-doo girl who's screaming about climate change. What's her name? Greta.
How dare you?
Yeah, that girl. So Glenn Beck had a comment once in the Great Reset book that I heard, and I took. And it changed the way I thought about some things. And what he was saying basically, and he was talking about this girl, this climate change girl, Greta, how dare you? Like, he was talking about her, and he's saying, as absurd as that young girl seems, like, imagine being raised from almost birth, believing that the world was going to end in the next few years. That if you don't do something right now, that the world's going to end in the next few years. We have 2, maybe 3 generations of kids who have grown up thinking this, who have grown up believing this. So, and the question that he posed was, if you really believed that the world was going to end, if you truly believed it, if like everything that's been taught to you and reinforced to you says that that's true, and as sure as the ocean is blue, you believe that or the sky is blue, you believe that that's the case, then how irrational would you get, right? And I think it was a good point, is that what they're doing to our children. All right. And fortunately now parents are waking up and starting to make that change and starting to demand some accountability in these classrooms before they get a chance to poison these kids' minds, because we no longer trust the education system, which unfortunately is way too late, but it's better late than never. And now we can start to raise our children before they get to school and not depend on the schools to teach them history or teach them some of the things that we used to count on them for. We now know better than that, and that we need to make sure and validate what's being taught. But the fact of the matter is they've already gotten to a couple of generations, and these kids are going through life, thinking that, they're so passionate and so psycho about the stuff they believe in, that they're going off the rails. And they're going off the rails, and they're going off the rails in a big way. And it's something that we need to address. Right. And it's formulating itself, in the form of these lash out activities. And, these kids are not mentally straight. They're not mentally straight. And it's not even an issue of trying to treat mental health. We're creating these people. We're creating them. And maybe not we in the sense of you watching this, but we as a society have allowed this principle, this Marxist indoctrination to go on in our schools, and we've allowed it to go on for decades on end. And all right, fine. I didn't know either. We didn't know, but the reality is they're there now. They're there now. And there's at least 2 generations who are walking around the planet believing that it's about to end if they don't do something drastic. And now they're all out there willing to do something drastic. Not all of them, but the less stable among them are now being pushed over the edge to do things that are drastic. It's something that we need to address. It's something that we need to address as a society, because this is not an isolated case. All right. And frankly, these attacks on the judges, this is unacceptable. It's unacceptable that the FBI cannot figure out who the hell leaked that document. It's unacceptable. Unacceptable. There are a handful of people that could have friggin' done it. It is absolutely disgusting because if they don't catch that person, then I think they're in on it. That's the bottom line for me, the way I think. All right, because this one's a softball. I don't want to hear that this is hard. I don't want to hear that it's very challenging. It's not challenging. There's almost no one had access to that draft. The pool of people that you have to go through is so small, it's ridiculous. The idea that with all of our police prowess right now, all of the monitoring and surveillance that we can do right now, and we often use for foul purposes, we can't turn it for good and find out who leaked that court draft, because it's causing all kinds of chaos, and that person needs to rot in the greatest pit of hell. All right, but I wanted to just come out quickly and let everybody know this happened. For those that did not, that are not getting it in their feed or did not, see someone bring this up. This was significant enough that I wanted to come out with it. So there it is. An attempt was made on Kavanaugh's life. The young man, by the way, when he was interviewed, and I'm not going to give his name, as I said before, but the whole affidavit is online for you to access. But he said he came from California, of course, to kill a specific United States Supreme Court justice. The Montgomery County Police Department officers were dispatched to the location near the Supreme Court justice residence where they encountered him. And it says here in the report that he was still on the phone with Montgomery County Emergency Communications Center. There are other stories that sort of refute that, but it could be. I mean, I don't know. It's a cell phone, so it's not like he could have been on the phone right outside the house. As he had second thoughts, but he was taken into custody without incident. Law enforcement officers seized both the backpack and the suitcase that were still in his possession. And then they go on to list what was in it, which I already listed for you. But I just wanted to let you know that that's there. I still have some more stuff coming out via Convention of States. I still believe Convention of States would fix this as well. However, I will say this: we need to rethink the Supreme Court justice situation in that convention. Whether it's the idea of the president appointing this Supreme Court creeps me out a little bit as I realize how fragile these people are, and I'm thinking more along the lines of the states selecting justices, maybe one per state or something along those lines. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. Leave in the comments what you think about that idea. But stacking the courts and things like that, like those are all real threats to our republic, and I have concerns greatly about that stuff. But don't forget to subscribe. We're getting close to 1,000 right now. I think we only need like 45 more subscribers to get to that 1,000 mark. So help us out if you're interested in the material, you're interested in learning more about Article 5, and you want to get the scoop on stuff like this before it goes mainstream. By all means, make sure you're clicking that subscribe button. If you're on Facebook, click that follow button. Make sure you guys are clicking likes and leaving comments. It's much appreciated. Likes and comments help us to get distributed, because we do not get distributed well at all. Ever since we started talking about the Great Reset, our distribution is kind of slow, but we're not stopping. We're still talking about Great Reset when it's applicable, and we're still trying to educate the population on Article 5. So any questions, please, by all means, leave in the comment, or you can reach us through our website. And don't forget to check out our t-shirt store. We've got some excellent game T-shirts there, both for Convention of States and for just regular Patriot sayings and things of that nature. But check that out as well. Until next time, I'm out.
And like that,